At the boundary of every prokaryotic and eukaryotic cell lies a cell membrane, a semi-permeable membrane found outside the cytoplasm of the cell. The cell membrane plays several roles. First, it defines the cell by enclosing the cellular contents within the cell. Second, it creates a barrier that selectively controls what enters the cell from the outside environment and what substances can leave the cell. For example, essential molecules such as nutrients are able to enter the cell, while waste products are able to exit the cell. Molecule size also plays a role in this permeability. Small molecules such as water and oxygen are able to freely cross the cell membrane, but larger molecules such as sugars are regulated. Lastly, the cell membrane aids in cell communication. Receptor proteins are found on the surface of the cell membranes or inside the cell, and they can serve as either receivers of extracellular signals or activators of intracellular processes. For example, the binding of certain hormones to the specific receptors leads to a change in the activity of the cell. Now that we have looked at the role played by the cell membrane, let's take a closer look at its structure. Cell membranes all have the same basic structure, composed of two layers of phospholipids, also referred to as a bilayer. However, cells may have a variety of other membrane components, and different cell types have unique sets of structures embedded within the basic membrane structure. A phospholipid is a lipid molecule composed of two hydrophobic fatty acid tails and a hydrophilic phosphate head. The behavior in aqueous solutions assembles them into bilayers. Within each bilayer, there are hydrophilic or water-loving phospholipid heads that face outside the cell and phospholipid heads that face inside the cell. The hydrophobic tails of each layer face each other because they're hydrophobic or water-fearing. Cholesterol is a lipid component found in some cell membranes that associates with the phospholipid heads. It contributes to cell membrane fluidity by preventing adjacent fatty acids from getting too close, which would result in the membrane solidifying. Cholesterol also plays a role in cell signaling by stabilizing the association of signaling molecules with the membrane, allowing them to perform their function. Carbohydrates are commonly found on the exterior surface of cell membranes, and they are usually bound to other molecules such as proteins to form glycoproteins or lipids to form glycolipids. Glycoproteins and glycolipids often function as receptors for cell signaling. Another important component of cell membranes are the proteins that can be found embedded within the lipid bilayer or associated with the interior surface of the membrane. Many cell membrane proteins function in cell signaling and in the transport of substances across the membrane. Some proteins are involved in maintaining cell shape and the structure of tissues by binding to the cell's cytoskeleton, to the extracellular matrix, or to adjacent cells. Membrane proteins can also be enzymes that are involved in cellular processes, such as the respiratory enzymes that are embedded in the inner membrane of the mitochondria. Due to the important roles proteins play in the cell membrane, we're going to take a closer look at the two main categories of membrane proteins, peripheral and integral proteins. Peripheral proteins are proteins that are not embedded within the lipid bilayer, but they are closely associated with the membrane through weak, non-covalent interactions. These proteins are often involved in cell communication and enzymatic activity. An integral protein is a protein that is embedded within the cell membrane. Some integral proteins are inserted into one side of the membrane but do not go all the way across the membrane. Other integral proteins traverse the entire lipid bilayer and are called transmembrane proteins. Transport proteins are classified as a type of integral proteins. There are two types of transport proteins: carrier proteins and channel proteins. A carrier protein physically binds to a molecule and facilitates its transport across the cell membrane's lipid bilayer. Carrier proteins have a specific binding site for an ion or molecule. When the binding site is occupied, the carrier protein changes shape, and this change in shape results in the transfer of the bound molecule across the membrane. One example of a carrier protein is the glucose transport protein, which moves glucose across the cell membrane. A channel protein, also known as an ion channel, creates a pathway across the membrane that allows ions to be transported in and out of cells. Channel proteins have a hydrophilic interior that allows polar substances, such as ions, to pass across the non-polar membrane interior. Sodium and calcium ion channels are examples of channel proteins. It's important to remember that membranes are not static sheets of molecules locked in place, but rather these molecules can drift about in the plane of the membrane. Because of this property, the cell membrane is described as a fluid mosaic. The term fluid refers to the nature of the lipid bilayer itself, which is made of movable components. The term mosaic refers to the fact that the membrane is made up of a number of different molecules, such as phospholipids, proteins, cholesterol, and carbohydrates.